Are you feeling more like a referee than a parent lately? Drained, irritable, and just done?
Oh, Tim, I know that feeling all too well from talking with so many families. And the truth is, it's not just moms who experience those feelings. So many dads struggle with burnout and mental health too, and we just aren't talking about it enough.
Exactly. I'm Tim, and I see this come up all the time in our coaching sessions. It's time we break the silence.
And I'm Edna, and I couldn't agree more. We need to normalize these conversations. Welcome to the Rising Parent Podcast, where we help families thrive.
Today, we're tackling a topic that's often overlooked: dad burnout, identifying and managing paternal mental health. We'll dive into paternal postpartum depression, the signs of fatherhood burnout, and practical steps for dads to prioritize their mental health without the guilt.
That's right. We're going to give dads the tools to not just survive, but thrive in fatherhood.
So, Edna, let's kick things off with something that might surprise a lot of people: postpartum depression in men.
For the longest time, we focused almost exclusively on mothers and postpartum depression, and rightfully so. But it's becoming increasingly clear that fathers can experience a very similar condition.
Absolutely. And it's not just baby blues. It's a real diagnosable condition. I remember one of our daycare dads, we'll call him Mark. He was always so involved, so hands-on before the baby arrived. Then, after the little one was born, he became withdrawn, irritable. He even started calling in sick more often.
That's so common. People think it's just the mom who's sleep deprived and overwhelmed, but dads are often struggling with the adjustment too. They're trying to support their partner, adjust to less sleep, and navigate their changing role, all while often going back to work full-time almost immediately.
Right. And the hormonal shifts aren't exactly the same as in women, but studies have shown that men's testosterone levels can drop after the birth of a child. That, combined with sleep deprivation and stress, creates a perfect storm.
It's like the family dynamic shifts, right? Suddenly, everything revolves around the baby, and dad might feel like he's lost his place or purpose.
Exactly. It's a huge identity shift. He might feel like he's no longer seen as a partner, but more as a support system, and that can be isolating. What are some of the signs that differentiate regular stress from actual PPD in dads, though?
Well, increased irritability is a big one. A lot more snapping at their partner or other kids, feeling constantly overwhelmed, difficulty concentrating, loss of interest in things they used to enjoy. Sound familiar, parents?
It does a little, but seriously, those are key indicators. And sometimes it manifests as increased anxiety, too. Dads might worry excessively about the baby's health, their finances, or their ability to be a good father.
And let's be honest, Tim, many men are socialized not to express their emotions. So instead of saying, I'm feeling down, they might become angry or withdrawn. It's often much easier for them to express their stress that way as opposed to speaking about emotions.
That's a great point, Edna. That makes it even harder to identify. What can someone do if they think their partner might be struggling?
The first step is open communication. Initiate a gentle, non-judgmental conversation. Something like, hey, I've noticed you seem a little different lately. Is everything okay? I'm here for you.
It's so key to start with empathy and validate their feelings. Don't dismiss their experience by saying things like, oh, you're just tired.
Absolutely not. Tiredness is definitely a factor, but PPD is so much more than just that. Encourage them to talk to their doctor. A medical professional can properly diagnose PPD and recommend the appropriate treatment, whether that's therapy, medication, or a combination of both.
Right, and letting them know that seeking help isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. You're actively taking care of yourself and your family.
Exactly. And that leads us to the next big thing, dad burnout. Even without PPD, the sheer demands of fatherhood can lead to serious exhaustion.
Oh, absolutely. I think burnout is almost inevitable at some point, to some degree for most parents, but it's when it becomes chronic and debilitating that it becomes a real problem. What are some of the telltale signs of burnout in dads, Edna?
Well, the symptoms can overlap with PPD, but they also have their own distinct flavor. Things like chronic fatigue, even after getting enough sleep, a sense of detachment from their family, like they're just going through the motions.
That feeling of emotional numbness is a big one, like they're just empty.
And cynicism, a negative or pessimistic attitude towards parenting and their family life in general. I remember one of our coaching clients, we'll call him David, started making sarcastic remarks all the time, constantly complaining about everything.
And that can put a huge strain on their relationship with their partner, right?
Oh, absolutely. It creates a really toxic environment. Another sign is reduced performance at work. They might struggle to focus, miss deadlines, or become less engaged in their job.
Which, ironically, adds even more stress to the situation, because now they're worried about their job security on top of everything else.
It's a vicious cycle. So, how can dads actually prevent burnout in the first place?
That's the million-dollar question. First and foremost, prioritize self-care. I know it sounds cliché, but it's essential.
It is. And self care doesn't have to be some elaborate spa day. It can be as simple as taking 30 minutes to read a book, going for a walk, or listening to music.
It's about finding those small moments of recharge that fit into your daily routine. One of our daycare dads, we'll call him Kevin, started waking up 30 minutes before everyone else just to have some quiet time with a cup of coffee.
That's brilliant. It sets the tone for the entire day. Another crucial element is setting realistic expectations. Dads often feel pressure to be perfect, to be the provider, the fixer, the fun parent.
And that's just not sustainable. Recognize that you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have bad days. That's part of being human.
Exactly. And delegate. Don't try to do everything yourself. Share responsibilities with your partner. Ask for help from family and friends.
People often want to help, but they don't know what you need, so be specific. Instead of saying, "Can you help out with the baby?" Try saying, "Can you watch the baby for an hour so I can take a nap?"
Such a difference, and communicating openly with your partner about your needs and feelings is essential. Don't bottle things up.
A lot of the time, partners want to help, but they're not mind readers.
Exactly. Communication is key. It's important to have realistic expectations for yourself and your family, but also to just accept the help. People are often happy to provide it.
It's so true. It's about creating a team mentality.
So, we've talked about identifying PPD and burnout and some strategies for prevention, but what if a dad is already in the thick of it? What are some immediate steps they can take?
Okay, so first, acknowledge that you're struggling. Don't try to tough it out or pretend everything is fine.
Validation is so important. Then reach out for support. Talk to your partner, a friend, a family member, or a therapist.
And sometimes just saying it out loud can be incredibly helpful. It takes the power out of the negative thoughts.
Absolutely. Also, prioritize sleep, even if it means asking your partner to take over some of the nighttime duties. Sleep deprivation exacerbates everything.
Even a short nap can make a huge difference. And try to incorporate some form of exercise into your daily routine. Even a short walk can boost your mood and energy levels.
And remember those hobbies and interests you used to enjoy? Make time for them. Reconnect with the things that bring you joy. It's not selfish, it's essential. It helps you be a better parent.
I think the biggest thing is to give yourself permission to prioritize your mental health. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. If you're not okay, you can't be the dad you want to be.
Exactly. And remember, seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. There's so many resources available for dads who are struggling, from online support groups to therapists specializing in paternal mental health.
Absolutely. And the good news is, with awareness and support, dads can overcome burnout and PPD and thrive in fatherhood. It just takes recognizing the signs and taking action.
Yes, and the most important thing you can do as a co-parent in a relationship is to offer empathy and understanding.
And if you are a dad listening to this, be honest with your partner.
Right. Now, before we wrap up, let's recap those key takeaways, Tim.
All right, first, paternal postpartum depression is real and treatable. Don't dismiss it.
Second, recognize the signs of dad burnout, chronic fatigue, detachment, cynicism, and reduced performance.
Third, prioritize self-care, set realistic expectations, and delegate responsibilities.
And finally, don't be afraid to ask for help. Talk to your partner, friends, family, or a therapist.
Your mental health is just as important as your physical health.
Absolutely.
Well, that wraps up another episode of the Rising Parent Podcast. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe to the Rising Parent Podcast. We don't want you to miss a single episode.
And if you're feeling generous, leave us a 5-star review. It helps other parents find our podcast and get the support they need.
Absolutely. And if there's a topic you'd like us to cover, let us know. Send us your episode requests. We want to hear from you.
Yes, we build these podcasts for you, so let us know what's on your mind and we will make a podcast episode about it.
All right, folks, thanks for tuning in to the Rising Parent Podcast.
Remember, you're not alone on this journey.
We are here for you.
Bye for now.